Happy Sunday and or Monday, entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs. Today, I am going to talk about why entrepreneurs should take a sick day. Yes, that is very unheard of, and you don't hear that often. But if you stay tuned, I'm going to tell you why you should. Shout out to you, D Nation. It's your girl, Deanna Diaz from the Better Life, Better Business blog, DeannaDiaz.com. And as a purpose influencer and entrepreneur, I promote better life and better business. Now, if you've read my description for today's podcast, you would know that this is going to be a statistic-driven podcast. That's right. I want to bring you some facts, some good tea, some hard, strong tea to help you in your entrepreneur journey. There are a whole lot of individuals in just America alone who still work a full-time job. And guess what, you all? I myself still work a full-time job. I am currently a civil service employee or a GS employee with the United States Army. So basically, if you don't know what that means, is that instead of wearing a uniform to work every day, I get to wear jeans and a t-shirt or business casual. It's how I'm feeling that day, but I'm fully covered when I go to work. So just know that and feel comfortable with that. And actually, I 100% encourage all entrepreneurs to still work a full-time job. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. But so these statistics that I got from smallbizgenius.net, they work with a couple other services and companies to come up with these statistics. So just so you know, there are 582 million entrepreneurs in the world. So that's a lot of people that you can talk to, network with, learn about. You may not even have to get to know these people. You can just, reach out to them on the internet or just follow them. A lot of them have written books, you know what I mean? So you can always connect with one of those great entrepreneurs. If you can't reach with them within your neighborhood or internet neighborhood. Also, 15 million Americans are full-time self-employed. So that's a very small number. So until you reach that point, it's always good to know that you yourself can still work a full-time job. Me personally, I do not think that you should quit your full-time job unless you have at least a year or two money saved for all your expenses for a year or two in the bank. And that also includes emergency funds. And another thing to factor into that, if what you're making from your business is actually covering your expenses for that year. Make sure that you're taking good accounting notes, pay attention to your balance sheet and things like that. And if you're not properly getting your taxes done or filing your taxes, you need to start doing that so you can get a good snapshot of where you're at. So until you've met my suggested recommendations, please, and I repeat, do not quit your day job. I know you all have heard that one time or another in a joke, but listen, honey, I am for real. Now, according to the CDC, they have done a study about how many people do not get their proper rest. And what the CDC calls short sleep is anything less than 7 hours. The CDC did a percentage reporting health risk factors by sleep duration. These are the behavioral risk factors that they surveillance in the United States in 2014. So now this is in conjunction with getting less than 7 hours of sleep, which is the short sleep. Most of these are obesity, being physically inactive, or a current smoker, which is cigarettes every day or some days, and having a high intake of excessive alcohol. These also includes underage drinking, binge drinking, or heavy drinking. Now, in the same year, the CDC did another study on these short sleep people, less than 7 hours, on the chronic conditions that they have developed by getting short sleep. They have been heart attack, coronary heart disease, stroke, asthma, COPD, cancer, arthritis, depression, chronic chronic kidney disease, and diabetes. And of course, those go in conjunction with the behavioral health risks. So this is pretty serious stuff. You might want to think about changing your lifestyle if you participate in being overweight, not being physically active, if you're using tobacco products, or if you're drinking a little too much alcohol. You're at a much larger risk of, getting those chronic conditions. All right, y'all. If you've been listening up to this point, I thank you. I really do. But right now, I need y'all to sit tight so I can pay some of these bills. And I'm going to be right back with you. All right, y'all. You already know it's your girl, Deanna, from the Elevated Lifestyle blog, DeannaDiaz.com. And as an entrepreneur, I want to tell you about this quick tool on anchor.fm that you can use to easily make podcasts. They have creation tools that will allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. And they'll also distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. That includes Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you so much for helping me keep a roof over my burrito's head. I know I gave y'all a lot of information just then, but I also want to make sure when I'm putting out something that I'm actually putting out information and educational content. So now, why you should take a sick day. Let's go ahead and go over these, shall we? We know all the importance about our health. We know all the importance about our rest. We know that there's a lot of us out there with full-time jobs. We know that we shouldn't quit those full-time jobs after so long or until something happens. All right. So in conjunction to that, this is why you should take sick days. Number one, you need to catch up on rest and self-care. That's why I explained all that in the beginning of this podcast. Rest and self-care is number one. You have to take care of you, hands down, no questions asked. All right. You want to also take a sick day to meet with clients. If you want to meet with customers, if you want to meet with clients, you'll have that day to do that. And because some customers, they have better flexibility during the week rather than the weekends because they want to spend with their family. And also, you want to take that sick day to get stuff done during the week so that you can spend more time with your family. All right. You want to play hooky with your kids. It happens. Kids aren't learning things 5 days a week in school. Let's just be honest. OK, and a good 20% of that becomes useless. OK, so in the same token, play hooky with your spouse or significant other. Both of y'all take a staycation or a daycation and just rekindle those embers. You know what I mean? Turn those into fires. Okay. Also, you want to solely take the day off from your clock-in job for your company. You want to go ahead and take that day off so you can focus on your business. Then take a sick day to take the time to review the trends in your industry. Also, you can take that day to create content. Do some things where you can repurpose your already published content and go ahead and make use of that, so forth and so on. And for all you religious folks and spiritual folks, taking a day off, a sick day from work, is also good for spiritual rejuvenation and soul care. All right, that's very important. You also can read and educate. There's a lot of courses out there that you can take in a day. There's podcasts like this that you can listen to and feed your brain that information. You don't have to retain everything. That's what pencil and paper is for. That's why there's notes on your phone and voice recordings and things like that. Take full advantage of that. And one of the biggest things that I feel like everyone, regardless if you run a business or not, but everyone, especially if you run a business, should take a sick day off is because if something happens to you, as much as they claim that they appreciate their employees and stuff like that, if something happens to you, or if you get real sick and you really can't come into work, they're going to try to replace you. That's just the bottom line. They care about you, but they don't care about you that much. That business is not obligated to hold your spot unless you're a service member. It's not obligated to hold your spot by no means. And they will replace you ASAP. You'll always be at the bottom of the totem pole in any business that you clock into. And that's just facts, hands down. So never feel bad that you cannot and will not come into work one day. Did you enjoy today's podcast? I know I enjoyed giving it to you. If you want to tell me how much you enjoyed it or what you thought about today's episode, you can do so by sending me a message on Instagram. Deanna Diaz is how you can find me, or on Facebook. Again, Deanna Diaz is how you can find me. Message me and I'll send you my personalized voice link so that you can send me a voice link so I can play it on the next episode for everybody to hear. It's going to be exciting, so don't be scared. Also, make sure you check me out on all my links and on my networks. You can Google me by Deanna Diaz and everything will pop up for you.